What's up? What's up, buddy? How you doing? How you feeling? I'll tell you how I'm feeling. I'm exhausted by the current state of media criticism. It used to be that we could just talk about movies and TV shows. And I know maybe this sounds like a buzzword, and maybe I sound like a bad person for saying it when I say, why does media have to be so political? But before you write me off and you go, oh, he's just a bigot, he's worried about, people of different colors being in his movies, that's not the kind of political I'm worried about. Because I have said I love diversity, especially in something like Star Wars. Star Wars, a land with 20,000 different planets of different species and whatever else, it makes perfect sense that there's people of different skin colors occupying that galaxy. Okay, and we know that black people are in Star Wars, which is why I was not the same as a lot of the. There's been, I don't know the best way to say it, but there are people who they see that there's going to be a female character in Star Wars, and they start making these wild assumptions that, oh, it's going to be woke and preachy and whatever else. And I'm going to say, so far, we haven't seen that. Now, that's why I hold my criticism. If a show does that, if a show suddenly, if for somehow Star Wars started being about race, I'd be like, this is weird, especially, you could comment on racism in certain ways, but, it's not exactly the best place to do it. Or maybe it is. Maybe you could make it work regardless. But I said, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if this character is good or bad, and I'll make my decision there. This, of course, is Reva, a character from the new Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show. And I said, I'll wait to watch the show, and I will judge her performance. Her performance is not great. She's not a great character so far. We're 2 episodes in. Her character might change. As is, if they're trying to sell her as an Empire badass, I don't buy it. She doesn't seem very confident in herself. But I've also started wondering, well, maybe that's part of the character. Maybe it is an act she's putting on as we discover more about her. Regardless, there has been criticism about her character, some of which has been level-headed and said, again, what I'm saying, I don't think she fits this role of a Empire evil inquisitor. She seems like she's putting on an act. But then there has been other criticism where people take it too hard, and I've seen people saying she's a diversity hire. She only got this actress, this Moses Ingram, she only got this job because they just wanted to put a black woman in the role, and they couldn't even find someone who was good for the part, whatever else. And I totally disagree with that. I think that's ridiculous. You can cast the wrong actress for a role. It doesn't have anything to do with race, necessarily. And I have no evidence that they set out just to cast a black woman. And even if they did, if they said, look, we have a white inquisitor, we got an Asian inquisitor, why don't we get, a black one, round out a little, that shows diversity in the universe, that they want to show there's inquisitors from all across the galaxy, I assume. So I think calling her, again, a diversity hire is too far. And some fans, I'm sure, I haven't seen the exact evidence, but I know there's people out there who've probably said some weird racist things about her. Hopefully it's a very small minority. But that's where things get stupidly complicated. Is I want to go, guys, can we just talk about the TV show? Can we just talk about the plot and the characters and the acting and the sets and the special effects? Do we have to get into this bizarre fight over whether or not somebody is a diversity hire or whether or not a show is trying to force wokeness on? None of that should matter as long as you watch the actual show and objectively analyze the show. But, of course, there are people on YouTube who their entire job is to go and to make stupid things and talk about, I keep seeing this stupid phrase, bait and switch, that that the show is going to end up not being about Obi-Wan and that it's just an excuse to prop up this black character. And again, some of the ways people are talking about it, Revenge of the Sister, she's not, that's a very weird way to talk about it. I don't know. Another person who we were discussing recently, Mecha Random or whatever, used what I think is a terrible comparison. I know it's a Star Wars joke, or a South Park reference. Let me see if I could find that real quick. But she basically said that the plan for Obi-Wan Kenobi, let's see here, she got a lot of flack for this thumbnail, diversity hire, Operation Get Behind I can't even say it, the darkies. Essentially, I know that's a South Park joke, but why would your thumbnail be calling this character a darkie? Like, you understand that's in bad taste. But here's the problem. I don't want to have that conversation. I just want to talk about whether or not the show is good or bad. Why do we have to talk about this diversity hire, what do you call it, conspiracy theory or whatever else? But unfortunately, now we can't have that conversation because of this. Because now Star Wars has officially responded. I don't know who exactly or what exactly they're responding to. Somebody had shown me that Mogus Ingram had posted on Instagram some of the abuse she's getting. Again, people calling her a diversity hire. And I think she actually did reference this thumbnail, this get behind the darkies thumbnail, which I find in very bad taste. I know it's a joke, but out of context, for someone who doesn't know that joke, sounds pretty bad. But now Star Wars steps in, says, we're proud to welcome Moses Ingram to the Star Wars family. We're excited for Reva's story to unfold. If anyone intends to make her feel in any way unwelcome, we have only one thing to say: we resist. Okay. And then they go one step further and make it clear exactly what they're talking about. They're saying there are 20 million sentient species in the Star Wars galaxy. Don't choose to be a racist. So this is specifically about racism. And that's it. The well's poisoned. We can no longer talk about this show. And honestly, I saw this tweet and I said, well, I don't even know if I can make videos about this show now. I might watch the show, keep watching it. I don't know if I can post about it anymore. I probably will because it gets some clicks or whatever else. But how can we now have a conversation about the show? We're only 2 episodes deep, and it's now this emblem of racism or whatever. The way I'm looking at it is I go, okay, so now there's going to be these broad assumptions made where if you don't like the show, or if you don't like the character of Reva, you're now on the side of racists. You're going, well, you're just helping embolden racists because, you know, they're coming down on her. You should support her. Even though, as I've said, I don't think she's a great actress. I mean, who cares? It's a throwaway TV role. I'm not too broken up if she's not the greatest. Again, I don't think the show... Yes, it does seem like she's going to be, play a major role in the story, but I'm here for Kenobi. I really don't care if this secondary character is great. But regardless, if I say that now, I'm kind of in this place where people look at, there are people out there who will just make assumptions. Same thing happened with Rose Tico. People go, oh, you don't like Rose Tico? I had people tell me, specifically on a forum they had posted, they said this guy Vito is a racist because he called Rose Tico a bitch. And I'm like, I didn't call her a bitch because she's Asian. I called her a bitch because in the movie, her character, not her actress, and I said in my review I have no problem with the actress, and I have no problem with Reva's actress either. I mean, I'm sure they're fine people. But the character of Rose Tico was a fucking crazy bitch. Okay? Not the lady who plays her. And again, it has nothing to do with her being Asian. But if I say, wow, this Reva chick in the show is a fucking nutso bitch lady, am I going to be called a racist? Not necessarily, but there will be people who say, well, you're just contributing to bigotry. Here's the other thing, though. It goes the other way as well with this so-called fandom menace and these anti-woke warriors that they'll go, oh, you like Obi-Wan Kenobi? Well, you only like it because you're virtue signaling, because you're woke, because you're trying to prop up this black actress. You're a fake and you're a liar. And so you can no longer have an honest opinion because everyone now is going to just break it down in terms of this one issue. It's either if you like Obi-Wan Kenobi, then you're a social justice warrior. And if you don't like Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're a fucking bigot. And I'm here in the middle going, well, I like some of it. I just think this lady's not a great actress. And there's a couple lines that seem to contradict each other. It's not a perfect show. I mean, I said on YouTube, I think it's surprisingly good for what it is. And I got a whole bunch of people in the comments saying, oh, Vito's woke now. Vito's an SJW, blah. And that's how do we just talk about these shows without getting caught up in this stupid culture war shit? And again, I think it goes both ways. I think when you have these guys making these videos about she's just a diversity hire and they only hired her because she's black. Shut up. Just don't even talk about that. It's not relevant to the conversation. Okay? If they only hired her because she's black, but she's really good at the role, then who cares? Okay? And you could say, well, the casting is suffering because they're only... I really don't think... Okay, that's saying that it's impossible for a black woman to have been suited for this role. I'm sure that even if she's not the right actress for the role, it's very possible there's a black woman out there who would have knocked it out of the park. So we don't even need to discuss this diversity hire thing. Just discuss whether or not the actress is good. If she's good, great. If she's not good, okay, the casting screwed up. Okay? And it's not a diversity hire problem. It's a bad casting problem. It would have happened. They could have cast a white lady who would have sucked just as much. You don't know. The same way that I'm saying, let's get off this diversity hire and just talk about the show shit. Star Wars, don't get involved in any of this. Just don't. Okay, the amount of abuse, I mean, I feel like they felt they had to get involved after she herself posted about it on this Instagram story. They felt, well, she's talking about it, so we have to appear supportive. But again, I mean, just look. 2,000 quote tweets, so many of which are just, again, going to be perpetuating these narratives. There's no room in the kind of fandom for anybody, so this guy's going to tell you if you don't like the show, you're racist. Here's Ryan Kinnell immediately. Disney Star Wars is already going all in on attacking the fans. They knew people wouldn't like the series. They've been setting up this narrative for weeks. They always think it's this calculated fucking thing where they go, we have a bad TV show, so we're going to specifically call out fans and call them racist so that people... I don't think they're thinking that many steps ahead. I really don't. And when has this ever worked? When has it ever worked to say we're going to call some of the fans racist to make our show seem better? This isn't a marketing strategy. It's just somebody at Star Wars, some idiot within the company feels like they need to come out and say something. Okay, it's not a bizarre, diabolical marketing plan. Another guy says, what happened about Gina Carano? Then people start talking about how Star Wars didn't respect black actors because they sidelined Finn and made him smaller on the poster. All of this, though, again, it's smoke. It's meaningless. We should be talking about the story, the characters, the plots, the special effects, the sets, the cinematography, the sound design. That's what I care about. But all we ever end up talking about is whether or not you're a racist or a social justice warrior or a bigot or whatever. It's exhausting. I'm tired. So here's what I want to say. If I continue to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi, I don't want to touch any of this. I'm done with this. It shouldn't be interesting to you. If you're one of these people who reads these stupid things that goes, yeah, Star Wars is calling me racist, and this culture war is becoming stupid. It's becoming silly. Okay? It's a Star Wars TV show. Why don't we just watch it and see if it's good? And stop narrowing down, stop making it about race. Like, you say you don't want politics. If you don't want politics in your Star Wars, then, I mean, I guess Star Wars is forcing it on you, but I have to say, ignore this. Ignore this. Ignore all the people who are going to tell you to obsess over this, that this is the most important thing. We have to talk about this nonstop. The Star Wars called the fans racist. They're coming after the fans. It doesn't matter. Let's talk about the stories and the plots. And if you really need this, if you really need to talk about whether or not Star Wars, a billion-dollar corporation that is run by nut jobs, thinks you're a racist because you don't like this character, fine. But I guess I just got to say, you're not going to get it here. We're going to talk about the show. We're going to talk about the characters. And hopefully I stick true to my word. Maybe I'm a hypocrite, because maybe I'll get pulled back into this conversation. I don't know. Point is, this is exhausting. We're only 2 episodes in. Why are we already making everything about race? Why can't we just have a Star Wars show? I just want to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't want to talk about if I'm a good guy or a bad guy, because I don't like the black lady stabbing people with a lightsaber. I'm exhausted. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't subscribe to the channel. Oh, and please check out my comic book, Super Killer. I'm trying to get the mailing list to 500 people on the mailing list. We're about 380, so please help me fill out my mailing list. Give me your email address. I promise I will not email you until the book is ready. I want to be your friend. I want to send you an email. Okay. I look forward to a whole day of this shit. Oh my god. This is a nightmare.